Referred to Mangosuthu Buthelezi as a man of integrity. I mean, as we know, he was a traditional prime minister to a Zulu king, passing away this morning at the age of 95. Tributes are continuing to come from various segments of society. Our colleague, senior reporter Dasen Thathiah, joining us now live as we continue bringing you more reaction to the death of Mangosuthu Buthelezi. Dasen, good afternoon. I mean, sentiments are varying from one sector to another, analyst, and everybody just painting this different picture of Mangosuthu Buthelezi, whose legacy has been described by others as being complex and controversial.
And as you rightfully said, you know, this is a passing that's been felt across the country in various parts. But here where I'm standing today at the Mangosuthu University of Technology, it's one of the places that it is particularly significant because this is an institution that was founded by the late Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi back in the 70s. And at that time, it really spoke to his vision of wanting to educate the masses. And as you will know, and as many of our viewers will know, this is a university that is located in the Umlazi township. And it's here that there's also a tribute being paid to the late Prince. I'm actually going to bring in now the Vice Chancellor, Professor Marcus Ramachale. Prof, thank you so much for joining me. It's unfortunate that we're here to talk about what is a somber event as well. This is the founding father of your university, someone who has been here regularly, from what I understand. I think I just want to start by getting your reaction and that of the university community to that news that we received this morning.
We were obviously shocked when we received the news this morning. But as we reflect on the life of the late Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, we realize that there is no reason for us to mourn, but to celebrate. We have every good reason to celebrate his life, a life of service over very many years. Where I stand today, it's the campus of Mangosuthu University of Technology. And this institution came into existence because of his vision. He approached the late Cyril Oppenheimer of Anglo-American for seed funding to start this institution. And the institution started as a technikon with 15 students, students studying engineering. Now today, as I'm speaking to you, we are an institution with over 14,000 students and over 42,000 alumni who have received qualifications in science, engineering, and technology. And these former students occupy important positions in business and industry. So we are very grateful for his vision. One great writer once said that if you open the doors of learning, you close the doors of prison, which is what Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi has done for black people in South Africa. By creating this institution, he saved many lives of young people who could have otherwise, done things that may have led them into prison. So we are very grateful for his contribution to nation building.
And one thing that's really interesting to note is that over the 43 years that the university has been in existence, his presence has been felt here strongly, but not just in terms of him being the namesake, but physically, because I'm told that he used to attend the events that took place here. I want to talk about perhaps your last interaction, or the university's last interaction with Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi in March this year, I believe.
Yes, the remarkable thing about Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi was his dedication to learning. Whenever we invited him to university events, he always came. The only time he didn't come was when we received the Acceleration Award from the National Research Foundation. He wasn't feeling well, and then there were also these COVID restrictions. That was the only time that he was not able to attend. But every time we invited him, he came, because he wanted to give support to the institution. Our last meeting with him was when we were inaugurating our Chancellor, Mr. Sandile Zungu. It was in March this year. And I recall particularly what he said. He made an appeal for the leadership of the university to grow this institution so that it can continue to grow in strength and stature. And that is something that we are committed to doing as the university leadership.
Prof, you've been at the institution for a long time, I think about 14 years if I'm not mistaken. So during that time you would have also had, besides the official business and the official work, you would have had time to engage with Prince Buthelezi in that period. Perhaps share with me some of your fondest moments, anecdotes that you would be happy to share with us.
Well, there is one particular anecdote I would like to share. The Prince Buthelezi was a stickler for timekeeping. If you invited him, we'd make sure he arrives on time. So I recall a few years ago, we were honoring the late Dr. Richard Maponya. And they were friends, they were very, very close. So Dr. Maponya had invited the Prince also to come. And we had said we expect people to arrive at 8 to have refreshments, and then 9 o'clock would start the ceremony. So I recall just before 8 he arrived, and when the time went past 8, he came to me and said, "No, Professor, the ceremony should have started." And I said, "No, between now and about 8:30, we're going to have refreshments, and then we'll proceed to Sema Hall." He said, "Well, I'm sorry, then I got it wrong." So that is how, important time for him was. It was also an expression of self-discipline. We all know how disciplined Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi was, and that kind of discipline he also tried to instill in young people, even within the members of his own party. And that is one important contribution he's made to this country. We also remember him for his moderating influence. He was a great moderating influence, and I think the South Africa that we have today has a lot to be grateful for his leadership over many, many years.
Appreciate your time. Thank you so much. That's the Vice-Chancellor of the Mangosuthu University of Technology. And like in other parts of the country and other parts of the city, there will be many people that will be paying tribute to the late Prince, and it will be no different here. In fact, according to a statement issued by the university, they will also be holding a memorial service in the coming week.
Thank you very much, Dasen Thathiah, there at the institution named after Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. It's interesting that we are reminded about this part of Mangosuthu Buthelezi's life. He was very, very focused on education.
Yes.
And himself, having been highly educated, from Forte University. You spoke earlier about him as a Forte alumnus.
Yes.
So his contribution was not just political. He also realized the importance, and he used to speak about the importance of young people getting educated.
And one of the worst things about the apartheid government, which he weighed in on quite often, was the education system that was created and unfortunately has been extremely difficult to break down at a basic education level, even in 2023.
Yeah, there were so many things wrong with the apartheid system,
yeah.
Which was a crime against humanity declared by the United Nations at different levels. But if you want to pinpoint something, it was the education system that really made the apartheid system to repress the people.
Absolutely, and of course it's something that persists in many aspects to this day. But we